The Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. On this edition of the Big WECK'sBuffalo on the Rise, meet some amazing people from hometown businesses, like Dr. Kaplansky, who tells us about his Teeth Now process to make your smile bright. Then Paul Stasiak says this is the weekend to find your ride in 2025 at the Buffalo Auto Show. And Donna Herberger says just because it's winter doesn't mean you should pack on some pounds. Find out how to stay fit. All on this edition of the Big WECK'sBuffalo on the Rise. Stay with us.
I'm Joe Chili. You can listen to me mornings on the Big WECK. Joining us today on the Big WECK'sBuffalo on the Rise is Dr. Kaplansky. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Joe?
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. You know, one of the things that I noticed when I was prepping and doing some of the research for the show itself is the fact that there are a lot of national firms. There are a lot of firms that come in now and they're advertising in it. And you know, I always wonder, I like to have local people that I can call on. If I have a dentist, I want to go to the same dentist all the time. I don't want to go to, you know, the dentist of the day, right, if you will. So what sets you apart from like the national firms?
Well, absolutely. So there's a big move in dentistry now is to consolidate, and basically dentists are selling their practices to larger companies. They're called DSOs. And most of the offices that you see out there, even though they might say Dr. So-and-so, they actually are part of a huge conglomerate, and it's a big corporate organization where profit is the most important thing. So we are a privately owned, very personable, and local dental office. You always see the same people when you come, and we take good care of patients.
What do you think, you know, we know that you're in Gasport, and to some people Gasport may seem like it's a way off or whatever, but you have people from all over Western New York and Southern Ontario coming to you, right?
Absolutely. So Gasport obviously not the center of the universe, and many people don't even know where it is, but the services that we provide, the process that we invented, and what we do for these patients is so unique that people have absolutely no problem traveling to us from Toronto, from Erie, Pennsylvania, from even Albany.
You say that you can have dental implants in less than a day. Now, is that really true? Less than a day for dental implants?
It does sound sort of magical, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes, the process is really unique, and it uses patients' native bone or native tissue, so we don't rely on grafts. And by doing that and placing implants strategically and kind of joining them together with prosthesis as a brace, we can load these implants right away and give people teeth within 24 hours.
How long did it take you personally to get to the point that you are now, to the Teeth Now process?
Well, I've been a dentist for 30 years, and I've been in practice in New York for 25 years. And it's pretty much a lifelong journey for me. And every year I just get better, like that wine or cheese.
And there's nothing up your sleeve, right? I want to make sure we're talking about, you know, a magic here and things like that. It is a revolutionary process. Now, it is, you know, you talk about this happening in less than a day. Yes. Traditionally, when we're talking about dental implants, is it something that can take weeks or a month or whatever?
Traditionally, it can take months, sometimes years. So let's say a person doesn't have teeth anymore, and they have deficient bone. They have not enough bone. they would come to a doctor and they would say, well, you're either not a candidate for a procedure or you will require grafting. So grafting takes sometimes months, sometimes years. Patient doesn't have teeth all that time. They just go in toothless and they're undergoing grafting surgeries. Then after grafting, they would attempt to place implants. A lot of times the grafted bone isn't as strong, so the implants cannot be placed. So then you already wasted a whole bunch of time. You wasted a bunch of money. You had no teeth all this time, and now you're stuck with the denture anyways. So a lot of patients experience this kind of a cycle of okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I just spend a lot of time and money, and I'm back to where I was with the denture.
Now, when you're talking about dental implants, because I grew up, not that I have dentures, but I grew up in the age of dentures. And there was, you just see people, corn on the cob, pushing it out of the way. Apples, pushing them out of the way. Caramels, pushing them out of the way. Dental implants, can you eat all those things?
You can eat anything. With dentures, you're relying on adhesive. So a lot of people buy denture glue by a bucket, literally, and they put it in there, and the denture comes loose while they're chewing. They have to reapply the adhesive a few times throughout the meal. Dental implants, the way we do it, pretty much gives you a chewing power when we're done, when the process is all finished. Not only identical to natural teeth, but sometimes even stronger, even better. We measure their bite force, and there's actually an appliance that can measure the bite force. And their bite force is tremendous. They can bite through anything.
I think there are women in my past that really wanted me to fall asleep and then put that adhesive on my mouth so I didn't talk anymore. I don't say that works successfully. Some people are told that they're just not a candidate for dental implants. Well, what's your response to that?
Most of the time we say, yes, you are a candidate. So the way it works, again, is we place implants into patients' native bones. So most patients that have been told that they're not candidates, the dentist only looks at the area where the teeth would go. We go to the other areas in the face, such as zygomatic areas, which is a cheekbone. There's an area behind the jaw on the upper called pterygoid plate. There's also areas inside the nose that can be used. There's called transnasal implants. So we can do all these things. I'm pretty much the only dentist, the only oral implantologist in this area that is qualified to perform these procedures.
Well, for more information and answers to your questions, contact Dentistry by Dr. Kaplansky by calling 716-772-7500 or go to drkaplansky.com. Promotional and sponsorship consideration provided by the following. Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 at Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise today is Paul Stasiak, president of the NFADA. Paul, how you doing?
Good morning. Great to be here, Joe.
It's great to see you. You know, the auto show, I've got to tell you, whenever I think of this, I still get the excitement of being like a kid again. I mean, I don't know if it's just, if I want to see the new trends, I want to see the new body styles. I mean, nothing is more exciting to me than you've had a car 2 or 3 years, it looks pretty much the same, right? All of a sudden they make some kind of a change to it, and your car becomes outdated if you've got the earlier model, right?
Your car becomes a house nowadays with all the technology in it, Joe.
Come to think of it, that's very true. And what's new? What do you think this year when we start talking about the auto show? What are we thinking about?
Everybody asks me every year, what's the changes? And I always sometimes say technology. I've been in this business a lot of years. I didn't go gray overnight, Joe.
Yeah.
So I've seen changes. These cars are moving living rooms now. People are coming in asking for basically what's in the telematics of the car. What's on the screen? What are the comfort features? In the past, we'd go and try to put a little screen on the back for a long trip for the kids. Now they're expecting almost video screens, live video screens, backup cameras, safety cameras. Things along those lines are standard equipment now. So it's no longer the BMW, the Mercedes, the high-end car that has all that technology. People are coming in demanding that in the everyday vehicle. And That's what we're going to see when we move in. We're going to see technology in the cars, ease of the car, and obviously huge safety factors. So,
You know, the other day, I noticed for the first time, and my car's a couple of years old, that on the windshield, it was, you know, it was one of those days where you're using the squirters every day. And it says, your front camera is not working, clean your windshield, or something like, and it's a safety thing. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before.
Exactly. Backup cameras were a thing 10 years ago. If you had a backup camera, you had a cool car. Now you got side cameras, you got front cameras, you got sensors that tell you you're too close, too far, you got more room. So what's that? Even a caveman can do it. I don't want to say that to offend anybody, but nowadays, if you don't pass a driver's test with one of our cars, shame on you. The car literally drives itself. You look at Hummers; they can park sideways. You know, with the way that the vehicles rotate, they no longer have to even do a 3-point turn. So when people come to the auto show, they're looking to see what's different from what they had, as you said, Joe, 3 years ago. And it might be subtle changes. My wife's in the market. She loves her vehicle. I can't say what it is because I represent everybody, but she wouldn't change, but she wants to see what's new on the model that she has. And then she might change if someone's got something more.
Is there any such thing as a compact car anymore?
Yeah, there's a few. There's more compact SUVs. That's the trend. I know we talked off air. What happens? Electrification's a buzzword. Hybrid, plug-in hybrid. People want to see it, want to learn about it. We'll have a lot of that at the auto show, but essentially people in Buffalo still want that comfort and safety of SUVs or compact SUVs. They call them crossovers. So that will be a vehicle that you'll see a lot of in the Buffalo Auto Show. It's not the compact small car. It's a smaller version of an SUV. People feel more comfortable.
When you talk about EVs, you know, electric vehicles or whatever, are there enough charging stations around?
No, not even anywhere close.
Seriously.
And it's not the hinder of the car, because nowadays manufacturers such as Ford Motor Company, you buy an EV, they pay for in-home installation of a charger. That's new. It's an educational point. You'll hear at the auto show. The dealerships are trying to arm the customer or give them an in-home charging system. We'll have companies at the show that will show a customer, don't worry about it anymore. Publicly, New York State is way behind the infrastructure. No fault in New York. You know, it's just the imposition that they put, you know, some of these regulations, federal regulations, caught us off guard. We're working, the state's working, not fast enough. The dealers, the manufacturers are building them. The dealers are stocking them. The public's just got to get ready for it now.
All right, let's get to the auto show itself.
Sure.
The days for the auto show.
Yeah, it opens to the public on January 30th. It's a Thursday. We go from 1 to 9, Thursday and Friday, from 10 to 10 on Saturday, and we close it Sunday at 5 o'clock.
What about tickets? So the discount tickets, family tickets?
Yeah, I mean, you can get your tickets just as easy at buffaloautoshow.com, buy them at the gate. We've got terrific partnerships with Tops, with Consumer Beverage, with Dash. We got a brand new partner, so where Crosby Markets came to us, we're excited. Their scope goes all the way to Elmira and Ithaca. So someone can't say they can't buy an auto show ticket. They got a terrific discount, and buy 3, get 1 free. So it's probably your best discount ticket outlet is one of those venues.
Going to be giving away a car this year?
We're going to have a chance to win 2 or 3 cars this year, yes.
And tell us about, you've got a special night going on Wednesday, January 31st, right?
No, the 29th.
29th, I'm sorry.
Correct. No, thank you for even asking about it. Yeah, that's probably the most wonderful day of the year for us. It's our charity preview gala. It's a night where we raise a tremendous amount of money for local charities, Western New York charities. We've given out millions of dollars so far as a result of the proceeds of this event and our auto show and another event we do. So it's the coming out party. It's the pre-party before the show opens to the public. So we'll get a really good cross-section. It is open to the public. We never used to do that before. So someone can get everything you would expect at a nice gala and window shop at cars while you're doing that for 4 hours.
What do you think is the most exciting thing coming up? We've got about a minute left, you know, with regard to cars.
Most exciting thing? That is a terrific question. You know, my world, I think you're going to see a resurgence again of 2-door vehicles coming. You know, they got away from it for a while. I still think it's pizzazz. If you go to a classic car show, you go to Cars and Coffee, people always wanted a two-door car. Got away from it. I think you're going to see manufacturers start getting into that sporty car again. The public's going to demand it, honestly.
All right, Paul Stasiak, president of the NFADA. For more information and answers to your questions, contact the NFADA and the 2025 Buffalo Auto Show by calling 716-580-7176 or go to buffaloautoshow.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the NFADA. Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise today is Donna Herberger, the owner of the Ideal You Weight Loss Center. Donna, how are you doing?
I'm great, Joe. How are you?
You're always great.
Well, I try.
And you always look great.
I try.
You know, and when you sit next to me on TV, you look even better.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad I'm here.
Exactly. You know what? New year, new you, whatever.
Yes.
You start thinking about things that you want to do. We're going to wipe the slate clean.
Right.
I'm going to start, I'm going to make a determined effort this year. Not that I didn't last year or the year before.
Right.
To lose weight or to do whatever. Why doesn't that work?
Well, for some people it does, but the word resolution means you're going to make a change, and it's a Latin word, and it means to resolve, and it also means to loosen or turn a page. But if you say, well, I'm going to give up smoking, that's a resolution. That means from now on, I'm not going to smoke anymore. But you can't say, I'm not going to eat ever again. You need a plan. We give people structure so that they can have a goal and reach that new weight.
I've actually been practicing a resolution then, because if it means to loosen, I loosen my belt. No, that doesn't work, does it? No, I suppose that isn't.
Do you know more women than men make resolutions?
Is it because men just can't follow through?
No, I just think they think, I'm just going to try to do better. Men are like, that's silly. And it's not silly if you believe in it. But there's a day in January, it's apparently a real day, it's called Quitter's Day, when most people who have made a resolution, and it's usually the second Friday in January, where they've given up. So don't give up. Come to us and we can help you get on track and get to your goal.
So a couple of weeks in, I can understand that. But I used to hear things like, they would say, guys' hair goes gray and they don't do anything with it. If women's hair goes gray, women say, we look old, so we have to do something about it. So there are a lot of things, that kind of fall along those gender lines.
Right.
Right. And do men or women lose more weight on the plan?
It depends.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different factors. Men by nature have more muscle.
Okay.
If you have more muscle, you're going to have a faster metabolism than a woman who by nature would have more fat. If a man and a woman are both Olympians, they're both going to have very high metabolisms because they're both going to have a lot of muscle and they can eat whatever they want. So it depends not just on how much muscle you're starting with, but how active are you? Do you work out? Do you stick to the program? Do you drink your water? Do you take some supplements, some vitamins and things like that? So there's a lot of factors.
You mentioned structured plan. When I hear structured, sometimes it makes me a little bit nervous, right?
Right.
I'm sure some people may, but it also holds you accountable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So our program is a scientific approach to weight loss. There's no drugs, no appetite suppressants, no stimulants, just healthy food. It's a combination of our food and our clients' food, so you're not just eating the diet food at every meal. You can also eat vegetables and salads. You can have steak and chicken and seafood and things for dinner. You can lead a normal life.
I've tasted some of your food. You brought it before.
Yes.
It doesn't taste like quote-unquote diet food.
No.
Because, I think of diet food as tasting like styrofoam or cardboard.
Cardboard, right.
Cardboard,
Ours
right?
doesn't.
But no, it doesn't.
No.
So,
No.
That's good in itself. What about, you talked about coaching too.
Yes.
Do people have to physically come in and be coached? Can you do it via Zoom? How do you do this?
So if you live in Erie or Niagara County, we service both of those counties. We want you to come into one of our 3 locations, Clarence, Tonawanda, or West Seneca. If you're outside of Erie or Niagara County and you'd love to do our program, but it's an hour drive, you're in Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, Wyoming, Genesee, we can do it via Zoom, virtual coaching, ship the food, and then check in with these people once a week for a 15-minute Zoom and help them get to their goal.
You know, when people look up dieting or
Yes.
things of this nature, they tend to do things that are unhealthy. You know, crash diets. I'm going to starve myself, or I'm just going to go out. I'm going to buy things that are low in sugar or things like this. And sometimes that's not the way to work. You have a medical. Well, your husband is an actual medical doctor, right? That consults.
Yes, and he's our medical director. This, as I said, is truly a scientific approach to weight loss. So if you follow our program, super simple. You eat one of our foods at breakfast, one of our foods at lunch, one of our foods for healthy snack. Make your own healthy dinner, and then on top of that, salads and vegetables and drinking water. So people are full. It's 3 full meals plus a snack, and you can't help but lose weight if you follow it. If you deviate, so we have signs in our centers that say 100% compliance, you're going to have 100% results. If you're 80% compliant, you could have 0 results. It's hard to lose weight. That's why people come to us, because it's too hard to figure out on your own. And it's not just calories, Joe. It's not counting points. It's not just counting carbs. You got to make sure you're getting enough protein to preserve lean tissue and muscle. That's going to preserve your metabolism.
You said something interesting to me before we went on the air, and it was about individuals that eat before they exercise.
Yes.
And to have a full meal before your exercise is not a good idea. I mean, people will think, you know, I eat and I'm going to go out and I'm going to work out and I'm going to lose weight. But that's not the idea, right? In our last minute, maybe you can give us an idea about that.
Okay, so if you had a big meal and then you got on a treadmill and you're jogging hard, your heart is already working harder digesting the food that you just ate. Now it could be the tipping point if you're doing hard cardio or heavy weights. So you want to work out on an empty stomach, or just like they say with swimming, wait an hour after you eat before you go swimming. Wait at least an hour before you exercise.
Donna Herberger from the Ideal You Weight Loss, thank you very much. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Ideal You by calling 716-631-THIN or go to idealu.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Ideal You.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigweck.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chili. Thanks for watching and listening to the Big WECK, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.